Hello, hello, hello. Greetings from the Startup Wise Guys headquarters in Tallinn. My name is Maria. I'm the managing director of the SaaS Batch that is going to graduate today.
And my name is Egita, and I'm the managing director of the Cyber Batch.
We have so many people joining us today from so many countries. In my SaaS bunch, we have 9 teams, and I guess I can calculate something like 8 countries that are joining in today with us from Zoom.
And I can add to that 3 teams from 4 countries.
Well, today is a big day for the whole batch. We have been waiting for this for quite a while, and finally we're here. We hope that you enjoyed today's event, and for us to kick off, we would like to invite our CEO El Patron, Cristobal Alonso.
Hi everyone. Hello everyone. Good afternoon. I guess I'm adding another country today because for once I happen to be in my country of origin. So I'm actually talking from Madrid, from the room that I guess I was a student many years ago. So that's also fine. I'm sorry. Unlike my team, I cannot wear makeup. I didn't have the chance and the time to do it. So I hope I'm decently viewed enough. But as Maria and Agita said, it's always very the fact that we are doing it for a long time doesn't mean that we ever lose the excitement, and because it's batch 24 is now it's more boring than batch 21. I think it's been an amazing adventure. Is probably unlikely our largest batch instead of the teams that we have put together. It was also the first time we tested and sorry to the Latin boys, call it then the guinea pigs, including teams for Latin America, working with such time difference across the clock. But I think it worked dramatically well, and it worked dramatically well for two reasons. As always, the commitment from the Wise Guys team to make things happen. But almost as important, even more importantly, the commitment from the founders. So having the chance to run a number of sessions in the program, coming and seeing people waking up at 3:30 in the morning, there, and having at the same time people working in the different time zone. It's been a show of commitment that people will do whatever it takes to grow. Exciting, no matter how much we like the online and how many the opportunities are to be online, nothing compares with the day that you come into the office and 6, 7, 8 of the startups are in the office. The feeling of energy that gives you. So it was extremely exciting to have the chance this summer to meet most of you in person, to spend time with you. And for those of you, for Emre, for Dimitri, and for the Latam boys and girls, hopefully we'll get you to Tallinn soon enough, or to Riga, or we'll come to you if needed. But it's been an amazing boost of energy in the last months to be able to work with all of you. And also super happy that Christoph and the team finally made it to Tallinn also this week. So that was the last ones to arrive, but it's always good to have you there. Yeah, and to me, it's actually the most exciting day because this is the day you actually start working. Because finally, our coaching, our intense coaching is over. Now we start with the light coaching. But this is the almost when you release the teams to the outside. And this is when you start celebrating every piece of good news that will be coming in the future. When some of you will hit 100 people, 50k MRR, the next big round, or anything that you want to celebrate and share with us. Just an example to today, one of our teams from the sustainability batch from 12 months ago, from the last winter, got a 200k grant that probably allows them not to have to raise for the next 12 months. And I was amazed to see how everybody in the team was saying, hey, I'm so happy that the guys got this one. We wrote to the founders. The founders were exciting. Some of them you have probably meet in the Tallinn office. So we are there with you. Today, I think it is amazing to hear about your journey with us. The journey just started. It's a 10-year journey for many of you. And I'm looking forward to be always on the other end, on the receiving end of good news and bad news. Good news to celebrate, and bad news to encourage you not to give up. And sometimes when you have to give up, to give you hope and said, it's okay, let's do it again. We're ready to invest on you the next time you try. So, encouragement for everybody. Super proud to lead both the MDs, the team on Wise Guys. Hopefully you see that we also grow. So believe me, when you feel pain, call me. I can tell you all the CEO's pain of growing. We experience it ourselves. And thank you to all of you for your commitment, for your energy, for your positivism, and in all the cases to be able to, every time we have coached you in the hard way, that you have always been constructive and accepting that the coaching is the way to improve. And the only way to actually succeed is to fail. So always remember, that, failure is the path to success. So never stop trying and learning on that. And again, when something looks super dark, Golden Wise boys and girls, we will be here to brighten your day and to give you a words of support because we care about you first as people, then as founders, and last as an investment. But that's the last part. But yeah, let's also celebrate some of your exits in 5-6 years. We don't mind throwing a party for that either. So Maria, Egita, over to you.
Thank you. That was such a nice, I think, ending. And I think we can emphasize that currently we're focusing on success. If the failure comes later, that's part of the journey, but we focus on success first. And yeah, super excited also. Today, on the graduation day, I actually had a chance to meet the last. So I've been working with 3 cyber teams for 5 months, and 2 of them I met in person earlier. But the last team I got to meet only, I think, 40 minutes ago. So super excited. Now I have all 3. But before we go to the pitches and everything else and the event, I want to actually go back to the very beginning, how it all started with the scouting. And we started scouting in, I think, early year this year. We're always scouting, but, you know, focusing on that one. But Maria, that was also the time you joined the team. So how was it to jump into already like the pool that is full?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's one of the best decisions I've made in in my professional career, because the feedback that I get from the people, most of all from my founders, but of course, especially from the startup Wise Guys family, is insane. And yes, I've joined the team only on February. This is my first batch within the startup Wise Guys. So I actually had the full spectrum of emotions of going through the program. We started with an open application since January. And for the 2 months, we have been throughout the scouting process. You probably see some of the numbers we have gone through. And I guess the biggest insight for me is that the biggest impact we provide as the startup Wise Guys is actually laying within the scouting process. Because the only real task that we have is for us to find the real stars, the future founders that will be bringing innovative, sustainable, and impactful businesses to the world. So if we're looking at the funnel that we have gone through, we have had to review over 400 applications, and to the one-on-one sessions or one-on-one conversations with our team, we did go with the 100 startups. It's huge numbers, and that's why the scouting season approximately takes 2 to 3 months. From that on, we also had such an innovation in our scouting process as small pitch days, because we wanted to see the teams prior to our meetings and also try to evaluate faster who are the biggest matches for our B2b accelerator. And then also we finished with the bootcamp, where I, on my side, had 21 teams joining, and you had 7. My question back to you: what do you say about the sales narrative, the cyber narrative within the scouting, and how was it?
Yeah. When you look at the numbers, probably a lot of people are wondering. So we have 350 applications for the SaaS batches, but then 50 for the cyber. And why? But we have seen that cybersecurity is a very niche vertical, and it's been there forever. But I think in the general awareness, it's only very recent. And I think it's like we are just at the beginning, and we will be scouting and we are like looking at the startups that will become, let's say, how my colleague Farid is always saying that cybersecurity at the moment is like fintech. That is huge at the moment, but like 10, 15 years ago, when the fintech startups were forming. So I think cybersecurity is also there at the moment. So there are less startups, but we are looking for the best quality.
Yes, and that's how it all started. We started this batch from the 12th of April, and there has been so many different things happening while the 5 months. I guess from the numbers that you can see, the most notable for me is the number of mentors and coaches that we have had the pleasure to engage with. I think the number is actually understatement because if we look at also like one-on-one meetings that we were setting up specifically for 1 or 2 teams, I think we're close to 100.
I'm pretty sure we're close to 100. And also the teams, of course, are like they're meeting the mentors, they're getting introductions, so there are more mentors. So this is like our official numbers that we can put on the slides. But we would like to say, to use the opportunity and say big thank you to all the mentors and coaches that were part of the program and working with the startups, spending their time and effort and supporting them. Because without you, well, we have the program, but it's not as good as with you, because you are the main also stars for the teams. So thank you again for being part of our family.
Huge red love to all the coaches and mentors. Thank you again. And well, a little bit more about the numbers that you're seeing is that we had 16 content weeks, but all throughout the 5 months, we were actually leaving some time for so-called implementation weeks. So basically, understanding the online format, we also get that it's super difficult to actually focus on the content for the whole 5 months online non-stop. So this is one of the things that we've implemented in order to kind of spread the pace and also make sure that our people are not burning out from the online formats. We had sprint weeks, which is our upgrade from the sprint methodologies, and the feedbacks from the teams have been tremendous. And we also had speed mentoring days, a lot of pitch trainings. I think 10 is just the official number. The number of times I've been training one-on-one with my startups is just, I guess it's 10 at least.
I think for the pitch trainings, the most common phrase that we heard was, again?
I'm tired. Yeah,
Do I have to pitch?
But also, and that's where we can move to the next slide, I would like to highlight what was probably the funniest part, the most engaging part of the running the accelerator for 5 months. There are certain traditions within the startup Wise Guys, and one of those is holding the all hands meeting on Mondays, where we're coming in and we're sharing what will be our focus. We're doing some games or icebreakers. Sometimes we do improvisational pitch trainings and so on. And then also on Fridays, we're wrapping up the week. And that means that we're coming together to give our feedback to the previous week that have passed. And on those wrap-ups, we always ask 3 questions. What worked well, what could be improved, and what have you learned? So on the slides, I actually gathered some of my favorites from all the 5 months of engagement with the startups. And I guess my favorite one is what worked well, I worked well. I guess that's just brilliant.
That's good. That's good. There are a lot of other things. You can see the pitch practice actually worked well, workshops, peer-to-peer sessions. That's actually something I think the startups sometimes don't expect from the program. They expect content, they expect mentors and workshops. And then when they meet the other teams coming from different countries, that's the part where they say, okay, this is something unexpected, actually. We talk to each other, we share.
I would say that the biggest challenge is also how do you create this family feeling while you're still
The
online? The vibe, yeah, that's one of it. So the startup to startup communication and bonding is actually one of the biggest value propositions that we have as an accelerator, but not everyone is expecting that when they're coming in.
Yeah, that is a huge part, I think, that actually improves. And I see one of the post-it notes is mental health. That worked well, which is good to know. Because I think also there is a surprise, which is also when you go to the what could be improved slide. We have the same post-it note.
Yeah, well, you know, it's an ongoing work. And given all the obstacles we've had over the past 2 years, I think it's one of the biggest topics that has to be addressed by any founder. If you're mentally healthy, you can drive the team and you can build your business. But yeah, I see someone needed to improve the gym training. You can text me, I can help with that.
Yeah, also the sleeping cycle. And I think for our teams from Latin America, this is probably the biggest thing that could be improved, or maybe they now have a new sleeping cycle. So they're now sleeping on the days and working on the nights.
Yes, so out of 9 teams that I have in the SaaS, 3 were from the Latin America, and this is probably the first time we have such a big representation from the continent. So kudos to my teams from LATAM. And probably the last one, but my favorite is what have we learned? And from there, I think my favorite is that Cristobal is very nice. I think he might disagree at some point. But yeah, stay focused on your goals. Don't delay legal stuff.
Oh yeah, don't delay legal stuff. This is,
Never.
I think, for everyone. Whoever's listening, don't delay legal stuff under no circumstances. That's, I think, it's a very, very good thing to learn. Better learn now than probably from your mistakes.
And from here on, I would like to move to the progress and the numbers that we have made possible all throughout the acceleration program. Would you like to tell about the progress day?
Yeah, so you can see here the numbers, and as you all know that we are always focusing on the sales, and so we always track MRR, so monthly recurring revenue, and also the team members, the amount of team members that each team has. And we started in April, and then we have now, let's say, part of the program that in the middle of the program we do a progress day to check up on the progress, what has been done, what are the challenges, and we already see that during the 2 months from the beginning of the program until the progress day, the amount of team members have grown from 87 to 132. The revenue didn't grow as fast, but that's fine. There's still like a lot of things that you need to kind of do at the beginning and understand. But then at the end, those are some good numbers, no?
Yeah, we doubled the MRR. And well, the team count was growing on the first half of the program. I think that on the second one, we were just learning how to handle that many new team members within our startups. So yeah, from our side, I think the biggest learning is the experience that the startups have had with us, and that will be the focus for today's event. We're going to be discussing what was the acceleration and how did our teams feel about it.
Yeah. But before we go there, actually, I know I've been with Wise Guys several years, and we have always thought about the demo days, the graduation, and I think it's originally, I think all accelerators have the demo day with the pitches, but then somehow for us it never was the right thing. We always did it, and on onsite, of course, that works. You go to event, you do the pitches, you have this stage fright that is so needed at some point. But sometimes we had like all this like thought at the back of our minds that something could be improved, could be done differently. And I think now when the online kicked in,
That's the right word.
started thinking actually about that something should definitely be changed. So maybe what happened with the demo day?
We killed it. We're moving away from the demo day format because, as you said, the online kicked in, and we saw that this is not the optimal format for us to be engaging with the investors, because usually the reasoning behind the standard demo day is for startups to do the pitch and to be able to be on stage in front of investors, trying to get the next interest for the upcoming rounds. From our side, we understand that limiting people into closing them into this box of, okay, so this is the only time when you can tune in online and watch all the, we have 12 teams pitching, so it's at least 1.5 hours of 3-minute pitches plus Q&As. And it didn't seem reasonable, because I feel, and we feel at the Startup Wise Guys, that one of the biggest tasks for us is to serve this purpose of actually trying to put our founders in front of investors, first off in the right light and with the right message behind it. So what we're doing this year is we're transforming the format. The graduation day, the official finale event of the batch, is happening right here and right now, and we're transitioning to it gradually. But the investor relations are going to be handled online and, let's say, on demand from the investors and at the convenient format and time for them. With that said, we need to announce that we have an internal Notion page where we have collected all the information about our startups. So they have recorded their 3-minute video pitches, they have investor decks, they have their fundraising status and all the necessary additional information about them. And that's also a place for you to book a meeting with them directly. And that is something that we're sharing with our partner investor network. And also, if there is someone in the audience today that would like to get access and actually get in touch with some of our teams, please write to us, to our program manager, Liz, at Startup Wise Guys, and we will share this information because our main goal is to provide convenient and on-demand information, fullest information about our teams.
Yeah,
Today, yes, sorry.
No, because well, that's like the fundraising never stops.
Never.
And we leave that. Please contact Liz. We are happy to give access to our teams, and they will be happy to talk to you. But that means that today is more about fun, experiences, and people.
Oh, yes. Yes, today we want to present the human side of our startups. We want you to meet the founders, and we cannot keep emphasizing that at the early stage of any venture building, the people behind the product are the biggest asset. And with that said, I think we can move and present you with the format for today. We're going to have the panel discussions. I will take the liberty of transitioning. Oh, no. Yes, there we go. We will have the panel discussions with all of our teams. So we will have the sales track, marketing track, Latin American track, and the cyber track. For all of those, we will have different moderators. I will start with my sales teams. Then we will invite our CMO, Zane, to moderate the marketing track. Then Cristobal will take on for the Latin Americans, and the cyber track will be represented by Egita. Before we go into the open panel discussion, I will also do, or Egita, we will do the introductions for the startups, and we will let them do the elevator pitch so you can refresh in your memory what is the startup, what do they do, and then we will move to the discussions. I guess with this said,
we can start.
We actually can start. Last very, very important point. You're watching us on YouTube, so please start posting your questions as soon as we're diving into the next group. So you can already start from the elevator pitches if you feel like that, or wait for the start of the panel discussion and then jump into. Thank you, and I guess that's it. Did we say everything we needed?
I think that's it. I think we can just start with the elevator pitches.
All right. Then I would like to start the presentation. And the first team I'm going to talk about are hustlers at their core. I would say that this is one of the persistent, one of the fastest teams. And I also have to highlight that they're always there. Whether it's content, whether it's workshops, whether it's homework, or you just need some help, they're always there and they will deliver on whatever it is that you need from them. On one of the sessions, we actually had a homework of naming which animal do you associate yourself with? And this team told that they are raccoons. When we asked them why, they actually told that because they are super persistent and no matter how, they will always find a way to get to where they need or to what they need. I have to admit, that sounds exactly like this team. Persistent, hustlers, never sleeping raccoons, but in the best of meanings. Please meet the CEO of the team Gradual. Oleg, the floor is yours. We will need you to unmute because we don't hear you.
Right now, you should hear me.
Yes. Good, good, good.
Right, cool. So my name is Oleg, and 4 years ago, I started my first sales job. And to be honest, I did not earn money at that time, all because my sales team leader was lack of time to train and develop me how to sell more. And what's more important, 70% of companies there are also ignore sales training, and they leave 30% of potential revenue just on the table. And that's a massive problem. So 1 year ago, we created a system which is called Gradual, with the one important simple vision to help companies grow top performers, the everyday better version of themselves, so they can help the company grow. And now turn to 100 plus teams on board with a 17% of revenue increase and 30,000 hours saved for the sales team leaders. And it's just the beginning. So you might want to ask, what's the secret sauce behind Gradual? Well, we help to streamline the onboarding and upskilling of salespeople, as well as resolve the training gaps by analyzing the performance of salespeople in different sales tools. Simple as it is. Now we are looking for a 300K euros investment to accelerate the product development and enter new markets. And we call you to join the journey, the future, where thousands of teams are driving more growth with effective salespeople. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're moving on to the next team, and I would like to do the introduction. So I have one-on-one weekly meetings with my founders, and when I'm writing down some of the commentaries or my evaluation about them, apart from the text part of it, there's always a very simple drop down. And that one says something like they are on track, need a kick, or need support. The team that I'm going to present to you right now is the one that got the biggest amount of on-track stickers from me. They are always with the plan. They know what they're doing. They're very on time, very precise, and at some points they might seem stubborn because they know their stuff. Well, working with them on one-on-one, I actually have to admit that this is one of the most responsive teams to any challenges or any tough questions that I have been posing to them. This team has always been there to listen to whatever criticism there is, to go back, work on it, and come back even better. This balance of knowing what they're doing and yet still being able to listen to the feedback, the harsh feedback that we have been given to them is like no other team. I would like you to meet George, the CEO of OTA Sync.
Hey Maria, thank you for the
Hi.
lovely intro. Hey everyone, my name is George and I'm the CEO of OTA Sync, full cloud-based hotel and property management solution. Did you know that more than 70% of hotels are still using outdated systems or spreadsheets to manage their business? Because of that, we have created the system that helps hotels and property management agencies to automatize their daily duties, such as making invoices and reports, finish check-ins and check-outs for guests, synchronize their online sales channels, such as Booking.com, Expedia, and Airbnb, increase their revenue, and receive completely commission-free bookings directly from their website. We charge monthly or annual fee. Currently, we have over 500 clients in 15 different markets with direct sales concentrated on the Balkan region. By the end of the year, our plan is to close 460,000 euros seed phase in order to increase our sales in Mediterranean region and add new functionalities to the system. Thank you for your attention.
And we're moving to the last team in this discussion panel. And I have to start with something like having a cool product is not always the thing if you don't have the human skills. And I think it's funny because we're going to be talking about an HR tech startup. We've been speaking about our scouting process for a little already today, and one of the final events for the scouting is the bootcamp. So we've invited 27 teams for 3 days to meet 40 different mentors that have been given the evaluation about them. And this particular team and the founder, Dmitry, has shown the highest ranking from all the mentors. I'm not sure what you're doing on those one-on-ones, but you know how to make people fall in love with you, your idea, your vision. And during the program, there has been many, many things that have changed. We've been expanding your vision into the international expansion. We've been talking about some challenges that you have within your team and so on. But one thing was kept the same. The mentors and coaches have still been giving you the positive feedbacks and believed in what you're building. I would like you to meet the CEO of Friday, Dmitry.
Hey, happy to meet you all. I'm Dmitry, founder of Friday, zero-code platform for HR workflow automation. When you start a new job, it's critically important to build relations with and learn how other departments operate in the first 2 months, but more than 80% of the companies are doing onboarding badly. This results in employee churn, this results in lower productivity, and the costs are dramatic. And that's why zero-code platform Friday helps large companies set up workflows to onboard new employees, to automate mentorship programs, and to collect HR analytics. We do everything via standard corporate messengers such as Slack, Microsoft Teams, Outlook, Gmail, etc. And we already work with IT companies, banks, and multinationals like General Electric and Coca-Cola. Our monthly revenue is approaching $20,000, and it is the third project together with my fantastic co-founders. We've just sold our previous company, and now with this growth, we're finalizing pre-seed. So I'll be happy to build more productive and friendly environment in the leading companies together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I think we're ready to assemble for the panel discussion. I would like all of you to put your attention, and also let's have the live conversation. So how this works. First, I have one open question to each of you, and then, and this is me talking to you, YouTube, you need to post the questions to the teams, because we will have time to discuss whatever it is that you want to know, either about the sales processes in these companies or in general, your questions to the founders. Oleg, we will start with you. And I would like to say that when you started the program, you already had some initial traction and you already had quite some customer base behind you. But ever since, you actually leveled up your sales game and the processes that you have in your outreach and negotiations. So my question would be, what do your sales operations look like today, and how do you support it with marketing?
Right, cool. I guess you should hear me well. Yes,
Yeah,
you
okay.
do. First of all, I would like to send a huge thanks to the Wise guys, because all the improvements that we got were because of the mentors, because of our lovely MD, and that's a real impact. I'll be totally honest with you. Back to the question itself. Yes, we worked a lot with you basically on customer acquisition, and we got fully automated the outbound sales process. Right now it's targeted on the UK and the Netherlands. And what we are doing, we are outreaching our customers, asking for the market research into you, so we can build a product to meet industry needs. But then they are asking us about the demo, and the interest rate is 72%. Which is really crazy high. And since we launched this approach in our outbound sales in those markets, we got paying customers within 1 month. Another channel which is working well right now, this is the resellers that they are bringing us 20% of new sales each month. And right now, this is the matter to hire a salesperson that will be scaling 2 of those channels. But you asked about the marketing activities, and it's more exciting for us because last week we entered a new level. We did the webinar with our partner, and 9%, it was really exciting for us. 9% of all attendees, they got registered in Gradual, and we already booked for demos with them. And this gave us the right sign that the product is ready to be marketed. So right now we'll be focusing a lot during the October and November on performance marketing. That means paid ads and on LinkedIn events. And we plan to bring 10% of our customers with those new channels. And meanwhile, also do the first steps with the content and SEO, but this is more for the long term. So the goal here with the marketing to minimize the sales touch in customer acquisition so we can scale easily. That's it.
Thank you so much. Georgia, you're coming up next. So, as far as I know, your main sales strategy is building the reseller network. How many new countries did you add to your geography? How do you make sure you're properly represented on the market? And what are the volumes that are generated by this network?
Thank you, Maria, for the questions. First of all, yes, besides of the markets where we have direct sales in the Balkan region, our main strategy is a reseller network. We have dozens of open negotiations, but we have currently closed down the 3 new markets: Romania, Maldives, and Nigeria. In October, we plan to close additional 3 new markets in the Mediterranean region. And how we make sure that we are properly represented is by taking a couple of steps. First step, we only negotiate with potential resellers that already have experience with working with hotels and working with sales. So we only want the companies that have already established network of hotels. The second one is the agreement. We take the legal position very seriously. In the agreement, we have a monthly and quarterly reports in which we take a feedback from our resellers where they tell us new updates about their market, and we listen to them. The third question was about the traction. As they have just started with their sales in September, the revenue traction that the reseller network is bringing us is currently less than 1,000 euros per month. But our plan is to have with sales goals over 30% growth month on month. Thank you.
I see. Thank you so much, Georgia. Dmitry, next question is to you. And I can already see that some of the questions are coming, so just make sure that we don't stop with that. So Dmitry, one of your customer segments are actually large corporates. As far as I know, one of the segments is the big IT companies and then also the banking segment. So what would you tell are the main challenges for you to be selling to them, and how did you change your approach towards the B2b accounts during the program?
First of all, yeah, thank you, Maria, for the question. Yes, we discovered that our enterprise clients hire, well, we understand that they hire more people, so the need for onboarding and networking and mentorship is more clear for them. They get more value, and we see that they are renewing easier. And they also have more workflows to automate, so there is more account expansion. So some department buys us, and then other departments wants to buy us. And of course, these larger clients mean longer deals, and we need more systematic approach to sales, and they have more systematic approach to vendor choice. So there is some competition, and we need to be not just service providers, but also experts in the goals that they want to reach. So before the program, the sales were made by the founders, and we just had some first successes with our sales managers. And during the program, we improved a lot of our processes, and we worked a lot on marketing campaign, and we hired a fantastic head of sales from a late stage HR tech startup, and he has transformed some of the processes, like set up the dashboards, CRM, processes, meetings, reports, etc. And we also, after these experiments in marketing, we have just hired the head of marketing. So we will be improving all these processes to be more B2B oriented at large clients.
Thank you so much, Dmitry. Okay, so Oleg, are you ready for your next question? Oleg, with the growing teams in SWG, have you been selling your services to them every day? If yes, well done. If not, get started.
Oh, sure, we'll get started. Thanks for this question. I would say that we were mostly We are mostly focused right now on mid-market companies, growing IT companies with 10 salespeople on board, or this might be the contact centers, the financial companies that have the heavy rotation. But the vision here is in continuous learning. So any team starting from one person will be able to use gradual to autopilot the development and the training. So yes, we will get started, but once we'll have important features for them to deliver the value prop. And also we are partnering up with the Wise Guys teams on the content, for example, with the Monkfish, who you will see in a couple of minutes, the cybersecurity team. We are developing the training templates for the sales guys on the cybersecurity, since it's very important point for the customers in the UK, Europe, and the US. So that means that as the WG family brings more than just mentorship, but the community itself.
Thank you so much. Georgia. So I saw the question which said, the world is opening up and travelers are ready, but are hotels ready to manage?
A lot of the hotels actually are not really ready to manage, because the last year was really something that completely redesigned how hotels needs to think. The most of the hotels are managing through the on-premises systems, and it was a real pain for the hotel owners and for hotels managers to manage their business while they are not on site. And we are really lucky that a lot of the hotels are seeing the chance in cloud-based technologies, and that they are approaching us, and they are approaching the new phase of the hotel management, where they will be enabled to control their business on the go and through the mobile apps also.
Thank you. Dmitry, I will follow on with my question to you as well. What will be the role of the European Union or Europe in general as a market in your future plans of the business growth?
Yeah, thanks. We've worked a lot on the on the decision for international expansion. Of course, we understand that 50% of enterprise sales are done in the United States, and Fortune 500 is a very lucrative segment. Understand that culturally and from the processes side, it's much easier to address the UK, Nordics, Baltics, Netherlands markets. And for this round, we are going international via European countries. So currently, it's our focus.
Thank you. Now, the very quick one. Just choose a couple of words to answer. What is the most impactful insight from the program? Oleg.
Well, the most impactful insight from the program, test, generate ideas with the team, get this feedback loop, implement. This is the product, continuous product loop to grow.
Thank you. Georgia, what is the insight?
For us, that would be definitely the strength of the networking. I think I had a great feedback from each of the teams and each of our mentors, and they gave a really valuable advices on how we need to rethink our business and how we need to reorganize some segments of our product development.
Thank you. Dmitry?
I think the most important thing for us is priorities and focus, and there are always much more ideas that you can try when you have time, and you have to prioritize. You have always to choose what to do, what is the most important for you now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I hope there will be a little bit more questions on the YouTube, so please go and answer those, and we are moving to the next panel. Now, I would like to introduce the next team. Accelerators are usually perceived as, let's say, somewhat an MBA for first-time founders. And there is a stereotype that if you have had successful businesses before, you're probably not going to join an accelerator. This next team is beating those stereotypes on all frontiers. And while this is one of the experienced teams, very structured and organized, always knowing what will be the next 5 steps ahead of them, they have never neglected the valuability of the acceleration program. For every single one-on-one session with the mentors, they were coming in prepared. They have always been asking themselves what of the should be done or the known in our businesses we need to revision, and they were using the accelerator to have that. They are people-driven and they are obsessed with metrics. Please meet the CEO of FinMap, Alex.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alex. I'm the CEO and co-founder of FinMap. 90% of SMEs in all the developing countries don't have financial clarity about their business, have no idea where they're losing their money, and don't know which of the products are their highest earners. They don't make any data-driven decisions and rely on their gut. This is why we have created FinMap. FinMap is a cash flow management tool that helps small and mid-sized businesses to get a real-time visibility on what's going on in their business in terms of money, avoid cash gaps, and make right decisions. FinMap is a SaaS solution. We charge $40 a month. Business owners love us because we also provide technical coaching, strategies, and insights based on their financial data so they know exactly how to grow their business. And we're doing that in a scalable way. There are 300 million businesses in the developing countries with a total market worth $10 billion. We already got more than 1,000 companies from 12 countries that are using FinMap daily. And we're scaling 30% month over month. If you want to help us bring financial management to the developing countries, please come find us. We would love to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex. I'm moving for now to the next team. It takes resilience and confidence to build a marketplace, and you need to meet the expectations from both sides of your customers' segments. To be honest, we're rarely accepting any sort of businesses with the C component to the startup Wise Guys, but I'm extremely happy that this team was a part of my batch because I love to see the growth that the guys have. I love to see how many insights they have been catching and how they instantly implement that into their business. The speaker that you will see today, Norman, has gotten quite a feedback on one of the pitching sessions from one of our coaches saying that, sometimes you may seem as the stereotypical Estonian with the poker face. Well, I gotta say that there have been hours and hours of work from Norman's side, and I was sometimes involved, to actually make one of the clearest and most interesting pitches that we have in the batch. This is the team that is always diligent on what they're doing, and they have amazing sense of humor. I would like you to meet Wisedrive and the CEO, Norman.
Thanks, Maria, so much for the lovely introduction. Hi, my name is Norman, and I'm the CEO of Wisedrive. Wisedrive is a car repair marketplace that connects car owners with trustworthy garages. I think we can all agree that dealing with car-related issues is quite a headache and it takes valuable time, but it shouldn't be like that. In Wisedrive, you just enter your car registration number and select suitable service. We provide your garages with pricing, locations, and ratings. You can instantly book a time at one of them. On the other side, we have garages who spend hours every day manually putting together offers. On average, it takes 20 minutes to grade one offer. To solve that problem, we developed an estimation tool that starts putting together offers automatically, and with fixed price services, we provide offers instantly. This helps to optimize current operations at least tenfold so garages can focus on what they do best, service and repair cars. In Europe, there are more than 260 million cars on the road today, with the average age of 11 years, which means they need more frequent visits to the garage. But where to take them? There are 400,000 service providers. Our goal is to find trustworthy ones for 20 million cars by the end of 2027. We are looking to raise 300K in the next upcoming months. Get in touch if you want to get your car repaired or earn some money. I'm Norman from Wisedrive.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Norman. I'm moving to the last team that is going to be a part of this panel discussion. Emre is a solo founder. And yet again, this is not something that we're usually going into with the startup Wise Guys, because basically the program itself is a lot of workload, and we just need to make sure that the team of co-founders is actually able to distribute some of that workload and make sure that they can handle both the business operations and the acceleration within our program. I have to say that I am constantly amazed by what Emre is achieving. He have bootstrapped his business. He found some of the most smart people to join his team and surround him on a daily basis. He have gone through the program and he was one of the most active participants at all times. And while that, he was also selling to his very first customers. I am pretty sure that this is just the beginning of all the achievements that this team can present to this world. And I will give you a hint that he might be looking for a co-founder from within maybe sales and marketing. You know, you'll talk to him after. Please meet Team Pivani, the CEO, Emre.
Hi, Maria. Thank you for your kind words. Everyone, hi. My name is Emre and I'm founder of Pivani. Pivani is a social insights and engagement platform. 75% of companies think they are customer-centric, but only 30% of consumers agree. The 45% of difference is called as empathy gap, and it exists because consumer habits change so fast, data is unevenly distributed on many different channels, and companies cannot track the customer needs easily. Pivani helps companies to solve this problem by supporting major data streams and analyzing the human conversations in an automated way. One of the biggest marketing agencies in Turkey had 90% of time efficiency after using the platform. We have a monthly subscription-based flexible model, and our plans change according to the features provided. We are not actively fundraising, but we are now asking for some intros to the marketing agencies in the UK and USA. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. Now we have the three teams that I have presented already, but I would also like to present the moderator of this panel. Please meet our very own Chief Marketing Officer of the startup Wise Guys, Zana. The floor is yours.
Hey everyone, amazing to be here. And actually, Maria, you don't know, but you just promoted me. So I hope Cristobal is still listening, and I will have the C in my job title shortly.
Today I can do that.
It happens, you know. My internet's cracking a little bit today, so I hope that you still hear me and you see me well. And yes, so I would love to dive deeper with these three amazing founders. And I have no idea who said anything about Norman and his pitch. I will not disclose myself here, but great to hear your pitches, guys. And I have some questions up my sleeve, and I will start the same as Maria did. I will ask each of you one question from our Wise Guys pocket, and I see that already some comments are coming in on our YouTube stream, so keep them coming, and please write to which team you're asking so it's easier for us to shuffle it around. Cool, so I will start in the sequence how you were introduced, if I remember it correctly, and I'm looking at FinMap and Alex, at you the first. And so you already were rather mature, and rumor has it that you were upgrading the product quite a lot throughout summer, and I also know you've been expanding to other markets. Can you share with us maybe some of the either hardest or most interesting marketing experiments that you and your team were doing on the way?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Yeah, we really have rebuilt our product totally for the last maybe about 5 months. We have made it much more efficient. Even I can be more specific, 10 times faster than it was before. And in terms of the marketing activities, our experience says us that there are no silver bullet at all, and we just need to test, test, and test. So maybe one of the weirdest in terms of marketing activities was that we have set it up our YouTube show, and we were talking about the financial management in the small businesses with quite important and very famous business owners in our country. And this helps us to show the topic of the financial management to all the community of the companies and to share their knowledge and to discuss this topic and to say that it's not so hard to make a financial management in your business, and to grow your business properly, you need to know your numbers in terms of money. So this was one of the biggest experiments. We're running it now, and we're just tracking all the numbers because we are crazy on all the dashboards and all the metrics. So that is about our experiment.
Thanks, and that reminds that also educating your audience can be a very powerful way to actually get in their minds, get in top of their mind, and I think that's something for any other founders listening to us tonight, something maybe to take with you. I will continue with Norman, and in your case, so marketplaces are always difficult, right? And you're still, I would say, relatively fresh in terms of when your product was kind of possible to take it out there in the market. Could you maybe share a little bit some tips and tricks or your experience? How do you attract both sides of your market? So how do you work with the garages, and also how do you work with the car owners?
Hi, Sana. Good to see you again. So yeah, during the time when we developed the product, we started putting together the go-to-market strategy on the B2C side, where we figured out different value propositions for the car owners. And then we began basically creating visuals and messages around those. And in the beginning of August, we also hired a CMO with 10 years of experience, and she now puts together all the strategy for the upcoming activities and finds also people who can execute those. Main channels currently are still, let's say, digital channels, Facebook and Google, because the conversion is best there, and also it's really easy and good to track each ad group. And from those ads, we actually get the indication what visuals people love, so we can use those in other places as well. A few weeks back, actually, we had a possibility to attend the first physical event in a long time, Tartu Motor Show, where it was really nice to communicate with car owners and actually see their customer journey when they started using Wisedrive in front of our eyes as well. And we also have different campaigns in the work currently. So we will launch influencer campaign at the end of this week. We'll have in-store supermarket radio. So for people who come in with cars to the supermarkets, we will do advertisement in car magazine, outdoor advertisement, and also trying to get free publicity in television. And with these campaigns, we also get garage owners to see us and maybe show interest and contact us. Otherwise, we do outbound sales to attract B2B side. And with the fixed price services, car owners can basically get instant offers, which is like a aha moment for them, that it's like Airbnb for car related services. And then they are hooked in the system, and we can start increasing the retention and basically lock them in.
And which one would you say is then harder? Because it sounds like your marketing efforts are way more focused on the C side, and sounds like the B side is very easily converted.
Yeah, actually the B2B side is pretty easy when we actually get to the garage behind the desk to show the product and talk what we are doing. Then we basically convert 90% of the garages. On the B2C side, it's more in exploration stage currently to see what's working, what's not, what to double down in, and see where is the client hanging around more.
Thanks, Norman. I will move over further to Emre. And actually, you're like you should be super marketing expert given what your business does, right? So I will ask you a sneaky question. So before the program, you only had a couple of pilots, and actually now you have customers. And I was wondering which platforms or what kind of marketing channels worked for you to get these customers. Can you share some secrets with us?
Yes, definitely. We are doing an insights business, and the better our platform can find insights, the more valuable it is for our clients. So to show the capabilities of our platform, we prepared some comprehensive brand conversation reports in our target industries, and we have started to share these reports freely with our potential customers and media outlets. And thanks to these reports, we partnered with a UK-based finance magazine for content publishing, like for PR purpose. And it also improved the brand recognition. And on the marketing side also, we are using many different tools, like we have automated customer journeys on MailChimp. We have, like we are doing digital advertising for sure. And thanks to the key learnings during the acceleration program, we are using Google search advertising with some different tactics, like search queries about the competitors and having separate pages for comparison of different platforms, since we are also in a very highly competitive industry. And now we are starting to test Quora advertisement because we discovered that our potential customers are also on Quora and they actively follow up the conversations there. So it's another tactic, like having higher conversion rates and lower customer acquisition costs.
Thanks, Emre. It sounds like we need you to involve as a marketing mentor in our future programs. And actually, the first trick that you shared reminded me of something that, again, can be a great learning for any, especially B2B startup out there, that sometimes you own very precious asset, which is data from your industry. And that's, again, something that you can beautifully use in various marketing efforts. And that's something that founders take for granted, but not everyone knows what's happening out there in the market. Thanks so much for these answers. I see that some questions are coming in, and of course, everybody always has more questions about the project that have a B2C element. So Norman, there's plenty coming in YouTube, and I will not be able to address all, but there is some really cool one. And the first one is, where did this idea come from?
And the idea came from my own personal frustration, basically. So I bought a used car. And in 2 months, it needed like annual maintenance. But since I didn't have any experience with the brand, I didn't know where to take it. So I started searching for different garages, sent requests to many of them. And then it took me, I don't know, 2 days to get a few offers, and the prices were like different. So then I started thinking that, okay, which one is actually providing the correct service? And it turned out that the highest or the most expensive one was actually the correct one. But the lack of transparency, let's say, got me thinking that we need to fix this problem. And then I called Kevin, my co-founder, and we started doing research on the market and found that yeah, we are not the only ones who are feeling this pain. So that's how we came up with the idea.
I still picture perfect startup story, right? you still were coming from the personal experience. Alex, question coming in. Being a remote team, how do you make sure the feeling of collaborative environment stays even when you grow in numbers? And I think very relevant question for many startups. And you were remote before it was the new normal, right?
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's a great question, and probably my answer will help somebody to do something in their company. So we've done several things inside. We have implemented random coffee, and twice a week you've got random coffee with your teammate from different departments, and just you have half an hour to talk and to discuss something. And so having a not work discussion twice a week gives you the ability to meet new people just inside of your Zoom. And each Friday we've got a meeting with all our team, and all of us are just in one Zoom stream, and one by one we're passing the word to another, and we're discussing what was going on that week, who are you grateful for, or we're discussing some kind of interesting stories that happened. And that this helps us to maintain that very great, environment inside of our team. And probably once a quarter we meet offline. We try to gather everybody from all the cities. They come to our city where most of us are, and we make some party, talk in person, and so on. But most activities are exactly online.
Yeah, and rumor has it that you also have to be extremely structured. So it's not only the fun times, but it's also how you actually tackle your day-to-day work that really helps when you're working remote.
Exactly.
Emre, also a question for you. Tell us more about finding your ideal customer persona and what were the hypotheses along the way?
Like before the program, we were more randomly shooting. Like we were having some assumptions, but like as Maria says, never make assumptions and always ask. So we first learned more about how to run customer discovery calls, meetings, and we learned to listen. Since I wasn't a great seller at the beginning, I have a background in computer science. I learned a lot during the accelerator program, and at the beginning, we were having 5 different customer profiles. And after running more than 50 customer interviews, we finally found the ideal customer profiles. And finally, we also had our first paying customers eventually. This is what can I say?
Yeah, so clarity definitely helps in the process. Backstage, Lise is telling that time's running out, but I still wanted to throw the super fast answer type of question. And basically, what has been either the most surprising or best advice that you got throughout the program for you? It could be marketing, it could be also something else. Let's start with Norman.
I think the best advice, the first thing that popped in my head was a call with Patrick, who is also really, let's say, sales driven. And he asked us, hi, guys, how are you currently, let's say, handling all the B2b sales cycle and everything? And we said, yeah, it's in Excel, we just update the Excel table. And he said that you guys have to immediately move to CRM. So we created an account in HubSpot, and now it's much easier to track, and it's more scalable as well than Excel table. So I think that's the best advice what we had.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Alex. In your case?
In my case, and for a lot of time, I'm totally sure that mental health is the basic of your efficiency and the basic of your ability to perform. So all those lectures on the mental health and all those things that we are implementing in our life and in the life of our team really help us to perform such rapid as we do.
This warms my heart because I was one of the participants at the mental health session that we organized, and you were the first batch to actually have it. And for those of you who don't know, we even have therapist in residence position now at Startup Wise Guys batches, and I think it's so cool that she's coming out of our own portfolio. So I hope that also helped maybe keep the mental health on the good post-it note board as we saw in the beginning. Emre, and what was the best advice you got throughout the program?
I remember there was a session when the instructor was showing us a chart, and it was saying if you build a platform for everybody, like they will get a very limited benefit from your platform and they will easily replace you with other tools in the market. But if you can identify your niche, then you will take the most part of the biggest part of the market. So I think it was the key learning for us. Focus,
clarity, and mental health. Thank you so much for the answers and for the discussion. And good luck in the connecting to investors and further in your journey. I hope to still stay in touch. And Maria, Egita, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I enjoy to the highest the conversations that we're having here, but I would like to announce a short break after a small reminder. To those investors that are in the audience and would like to connect with our startups, please remember that we do have recorded 3-minute pitches and investor decks and all the necessary information for us to share. If you reach out to us, there is the email right on the bottom. With that said, I would like you to go for a stretch, to grab a drink, to get, coffee, tea, whatever works for you. But please don't turn off the audio, because for the break we will have 5 minutes video from the last wrap up where the teams were highlighting what were the biggest things they will remember or they've learned during the program. So I'll see you back in 5 minutes, and for now, the thank yous from the last wrap up.
I'm a solo founder, but I never felt solo during this acceleration program. Thanks to all of you guys, and also thanks to the other startups, because they were also sharing their experience so transparently.
In particular, I've really enjoyed being able to speak to all of you in some way, shape, or form throughout the course of the program, and and seeing how everyone has progressed. That's been amazing. And that's helped us also do a lot of cool things, improve what we're doing, and where we started, which was basically a couple of mates just working on some idea to actually making us look sort of like a business now is it's just amazing what we've had from the program. So
I feel like with every bigger workshop or school I have went through, that every time I finish it, I feel like now I'm ready to do it again, so I will get more out of it. So yeah, I really appreciate the experience we had here,
and hopefully by this time next year we will be closing Series A rounds, not seed rounds like now.
To understand that we've got very wide market for our product, and the limits was only in our minds. So maybe this is the biggest outcome for me.
The global mindset. I mean, but really now we're thinking about global expansion absolutely different than it was before.
After all, I also came up with the idea that startup wise guys help you to develop not only hard skills, understanding of sales, marketing, or whatsoever, but soft skills as well.
It was good to stay in an environment and also have mentors and all the investors close by as well. Yeah, the cat is doing his own thing. And what else? Oh yeah, my personal, let's say, progress was that my time management improved a lot. The discipline during the accelerator was really good, so we needed to manage all the things. That's all thanks to the SVG program. So I think you guys have made something special in the market. That's why you're called one of the hottest accelerators as well in Europe. So congrats.
For me, the most important thing was that you're able and you managed to push us instantly to be better, to rethink something, to redesign something, but again, to do something again, and be better. And you were doing that in a very friendly way. So it was not like a pressure, unfriendly pressure, but it was like motivating you to do something again, better, rethink, etc.
I learned from all of you, how to be resilient. I always see, and I think every single founder of this batch, awesome capacity to reinvent themselves, to approach in a new ways to their own challenges, and do that at the same time that they keep maintaining this awesome sense of humor and enthusiasm for life. And I think that that's the way you work. You put a seed in the brain of the founders, and this seed starts to grow after the batch. So I think that in the next coming months, we will be seeing a lot of changes in our company, and I think in the companies from my colleagues.
And I can see changes in you guys. You all are prepared for the marathon. So everything, the body language, the way everybody talks and everybody thinks is more. The excitement is still there, but it's controlled.
Sympathetic and knowledgeable mentors and teachers. This is not the first time I have done a startup, but it is the first time I wasn't surrounded by idiots and jerks. So thank you very much.
It's just a huge pail of love in me towards every single one of you. And I need you to keep hustling. Remember that you have us and we are your family. That's not just a buzzword that we like to use. And yeah, keep hustling, guys. We will now, yes.
Hey guys.
But you wanted to say something, Norman?
Yeah, let's give a round of applause to the LATAM teams because they were brave enough to wake up in the middle of the night and, you know.
And the last words were there for a reason. We do need to say a lot of thank yous and just the general amusement about how persistent the Latin American teams have been all throughout the program, because it is no joke to actually be accelerating in a European accelerator. Even though we have moved some of our sessions later in the day, it was still a huge hustle for the teams. And with that said, I think that I still need to remind you that there is YouTube where you need to put your comments. Please keep that questions coming for our teams. And I would like to start the introductions for the next group of teams. And the first one has been fully bootstrapped. Yet, while the program, they actually managed to go to the new continent in terms of their client base. Resty team has always been one of the most active participants in all the sessions, and Roberto has always had this positive attitude and this, I don't know, just general charm to him. He was always with questions, he always challenged himself and his business and his thoughts about it. But not many of us know that Roberto is actually not a morning person, so waking up at 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning for our sessions, and that's a good day, sometimes we would start at like 3 or 4 a.m., was actually a challenge. Even though he kept his positive attitude, he was always asking questions, and to be honest, he was asking even more questions than our long-awake European teams. Please meet the CEO of the company called Resty, Roberto.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Maria, for those kind words. And the secret is coffee with cinnamon. If you do that, you will be active all day. So, as you know, my name is Roberto, and I'm the CEO at Resty, a web app that helps small and medium restaurants manage all of their delivery apps in just one platform. And we're doing this because the pandemic has made food delivery more trending than ever, and restaurants simply need to adapt to it, or their business might be put at risk. With Resty, we centralize all their orders and menus in our platform, making it easier for them to sell through more delivery apps and also save more than 10,000 euros annually on annual operational processes. Plus, we give them tools to maximize their revenue, and that is what sets us apart from our competitors. We started onboarding customers in August and currently have 40 of them in 2 countries and with a 30% monthly growth. And all of this thanks to Startup Wise Guys. Finally, we're working on business partnerships in Spain and the UK. So if you know any CEOs or CTOs from food tech startups, food drink distributors, please let us know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roberto. We're moving on to the next team, and I will start my introduction from saying that from this batch on, I'm actually the main sales coach within the Startup Wise Guys. So when we were considering this team into our batch, one of the biggest questions in my head was, I don't have any experience working with sales in Industry 4.0. And I wasn't sure if I will have enough insights or I will be of a bigger use for the team, because I really need them to create the impact that they have in their vision. Although I have to admit that actually the synergy of views, the synergy of the ways different industries work helped us a lot. And me and Paul had probably some of the most profound conversations within the batch, whether it was about sales, operations, or just us, our feelings and our mental health. This is a very insightful and very deep team, and I would like you to meet the CEO of Cognitiva, Paul.
Thank you, Maria, for those kind words. As you already know, I am Paul, CEO of Cognitiva, and we are in the business of providing real-time analytics for small and medium-sized business in manufacturing and logistics. Why we do that? Well, because they have huge efficiency problems due to lack of data. In fact, 90% of them start investing heavily on this kind of software due to global trends like COVID-forced digitization and e-commerce. All of this presents a global business opportunity of $12 billion. And we have built our first version of our software platform, and we already have some revenue in Latin America with very good feedback from our clients. Our goal is to expand deeper in Latin America and Europe in the next 5 years, and that is why we have an open investment round. If you want to help us take the fourth industrial revolution to a small and medium-sized business, feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. Moving on to the last introduction for this group of the startups, and then to the discussion panel. This team has always been asking me for tough love. They would constantly ask for a tougher, more critical feedback, and also they were encouraging me to chase them around and actually push them a little bit harder, because they believe that this is the way for them to grow and learn faster and grow above their heads. I have to say that sometimes I felt really honored, because this team has never been afraid of bringing up some really tough conversations. Sometimes it would be some sensitive topics in between the founders, or maybe some misunderstandings or miscommunications. Sometimes we would talk about a more critical operational sets, or their choices in terms of employees and how to grow their team and expertise. I have to say that now it's a team on a new level, operationally and as founders. I know that they got to know themselves better, and I'm happy I also got a chance to be working with them. I would like you to meet the CTO of Team Cortex, Artur.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Maria, for your kind words. Really appreciate it. I am Artur, CTO and co-founder of Coortex, and we help manufacturing companies to schedule their production. But what we really deliver is a tool to help them to improve customer relationships and sales. We can actually reduce the time to respond inquiries and make them avoid delivery latency. We are sure that most manufacturing companies, they can use this kind of software because they have at least a team or a person responsible for production schedule. But many are still using spreadsheets because the ERP is just not enough, and software for this kind of problem is very pricey. We have competition, but most of them are stuck selling Windows application. And we are focusing on working in the industry 4.0, selling products with more mobility, data security, and integration. Right now, we are planning to have someone in the European ground to search for partners, ERPs, and business consultants, and also to create our first pilots. If someone wants to talk to us and help us, please let us know.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I guess we're ready for the panel discussion, and for that, I have to introduce our moderator, and that would be no one else as our CEO, El Patron, Cristobal. Probably need to unmute.
I'm unmuted. Wait.
Yes. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, all good.
Okay, good. No, I said that probably we have to do it in Spanish or Portuguese, but that would be not very inclusive. So that's probably the reason why you guys choose me for this track. But yes, it's been amazing to work with these founder teams and how logistics has not been an issue for their commitment and passion and growth. And maybe starting, with Rusty, you started the program, I would say, not without traction, but pivoting. So basically, in your new vision with a clear traction, months later, you're already in 2 markets, 40 customers. How did the program actually help you, especially in the structuring your sales and your operations to deal with this challenge and achieve what you have achieved in such a short period of time?
Hola, Cristobal. To be honest, we have some experience with a couple of previous startups, And but these startups were also bootstrapped, and they were really successful. And of course, you think that you only need to develop a product and sell, and that's it, and that's reasonable. But at some point, you get 10 clients, 20 clients, 50 clients, 200 clients. But if you have an ambitious goal to be a reference in your market, to be really big, to get, I don't know, 5,000 customers, 20,000 customers, of course, you really need to structure your business, because if not, probably you will fail. And this is where a Startup Wise Guys program has helped us the most, because we have been able to review some really nice tools, some really nice processes, and above all, beyond the sessions with about leads, the CRM, the sales funnel, and the market engineering, and all of that, but above all, and this is something that Maria said once, everything is based on communications. You have to know how to communicate in order to get good sales, in order to get relationships, in order to get your processes well stated, so they can follow an order and you can grow exponentially. And that's what we have been doing. And in fact, we have been able to grow our base, customer base in Europe more than 100% in just a couple of months. And that is really awesome. And now we're working on automating these processes in order to get thousands of customers. That is our goal. And we want to thank you. We want to thank all the internal and external mentors, because they have given us the best tools and the best processes ever. Thank you.
Good to hear that, Roberto. Paul, on your side, you were always targeted a niche market. You were rather successful, I would say, in your local market. You had a clear ambition to go international and also to enter Europe. You iterative, you tested, you even fired, I think, your sales team once and changed completely. You tested new approaches to partnerships. What was the experience in the program? What was the 2 or 3 pieces of advice or those golden nuggets of thoughts that we helped you with? And what did you learn? What was probably the biggest learning in this area when trying to go international?
Yeah, thanks, Cristobal, for the question. Of course, for the very nature of a startup, sometimes as a CEO, I get myself involved in the daily operations, and that was one of the main issues that I learned not to do with the advices from Wise Guys, because I started to see the whole operation on a more strategic level. And by doing that, myself and Cognitiva as a company, as a team, started to implement some marketing techniques, sales techniques, to build a strong structure that give us the opportunity to keep growing at an international level on a more scalable way. Of course, it is a before and an after Wise Guys, because as I said, these techniques, these methodologies, these advices help us to understand our market. I mean, really understand our market, really understand the needs of our clients, really understand the problem. And I would like to add one more thing. We understand to get in love, not with our solution, but to get in love with the problem. And I really mean that, because by doing that, we start to see a huge bunch of new opportunities in the same market, and we start to develop this strategic approach to the problem solving. And as I say, you put a seed in our heads, and I think that this seed will keep growing after the batch. So I think that could resume the experience in these 5 months.
Thanks. I like the idea of planting seeds there, right? And to fall in love with the problem, or to solve the problem, not with the solution, right? So Team Cortex, I think Brazil is probably the only country in Latin America that can suffer the big country syndrome, right? That you could only just focus on your own country. Sometimes it feels even isolated. But you always said we wanted to get out, and you also said you wanted to get into the European market. How did you change the views to the program, but also how did you change the way you're running the business during the program because of the learnings and because of the initial customer feedback that you have been receiving?
Yeah, and the funny thing is that even in Latin America, Brazil is isolated by itself because we are the only ones that speak Portuguese, the others speak Spanish. So, and we are such a huge market that we get really used to only selling our products to ourselves. So it was a tough challenge to bootstrap operations outside. And what really changed our views is that we thought that we would be able to easily connect all online and with those manufacturing companies and in Europe. But even in Brazil, the sales cycle takes a long time and the onboarding cycle takes also a bit long also. And without SWG to provide us the connections so we could like create network and talk to those companies in Europe directly, it wouldn't be possible. So we have in our minds that our industry needs that physical contact. So we changed a lot looking on that perspective.
Good to hear. I actually must admit, you're probably the most smiling CTO I have ever met in my life. So, you know, apart from being the one always pitching, it already gives you a lot of credit there. So, guys, one easy question. What was the day or what was the most amount of coffee you drink in one day during the batch? You know, I know you guys were all waiting at 2:30, 4:30. Tell me, how many cups of coffee did you actually drink in average?
3%.
Paul, what's your number?
I think that around 5 to 6 cups of coffee this side. Very charged.
Roberto, mate or coffee? And how much of those?
No, I'm actually from Venezuela, so I'm not a big fan of mate. It's great, but I'm not a big fan. But especially in the design thinking week, well, we had like 20 cups of coffee easily over that week.
Okay, good. Hey, I'm going to keep the time, even if I was given the time with 7 minutes delay. I'm going to actually keep the delay. So you guys have only given me now 30 seconds answers. Paul, 30 seconds. Okay. Roberto, what was working with restaurants after the lockdown? How would you define the experience in 30 seconds?
Okay, well, our experience with these restaurants have been a bit complicated, to be honest, because with the lockdown, they have to move their business model. Before they were selling more on-site, and now they're selling more online. And we have to deal with this. We have to deal with the problems that they have with these delivery apps, and the way that we reach them is totally different. Most of them, they don't use mails or anything, so it has been quite difficult. But we're working on that.
Okay, Paul, what did you see yourself in 5 years? If you close your eyes and say, what would be the one thing that you have clearly in your vision that will happen in 5 years with the business?
Well, that is an easy question. I even imagine myself running a global company, solving big problems, our company being part of some very important editorials in global magazines at an industrial level. So I even can feel, you know, sometimes I wake up in the night thinking like that. That has been my dream since I was a kid.
I like that one. I like that one. Coortex, what is your nearest plan to build international presence? So what is the next country and how we know you are there?
Yeah, the next country would be Spain, for sure. And we are trying to do that through ERPs and partnerships. So we are looking to establish partnerships with companies there so we can have our first pilots and bootstrap our solution across the world.
Okay. Guys, have you had any days that you did not sleep at all? Do you take a? Did you had any day that you did not sleep?
No.
Arthur, did you?
No, yeah. I think that someday, yeah, I think one or two.
Okay. Roberto, how did it go on your end?
Yeah, well, I remember one time in the market engineering week, it was really difficult because I love to work at night. And I said, well, it's 3 a.m. I'll get 1 hour, 2 hours of sleep. And the next day I fall asleep. That was really, really something horrible for me and for us. But anyways, it was a difficult moment for us.
Well, just to wrap it up, I think everybody said it, and I think it was Norman in the video who closed it up saying a big applause for you three guys. It was much easier to quit, to be late, to always use an excuse not to be in the next meeting because it was too late, but you never fail us. You never fail to yourself. So big applause and to all of you. I think you have already achieved and proved something, but I think we will be hearing a lot from you. So thank you, our Latam track, let's say. And now let me introduce you. I always hate this queen of something. So I decided that, Miss Polanska is Madame Cyber. So I think let Madame Cyber, Gita Polanska, the one and only to take care of the cyber teams and take the event from here. See you guys soon.
That was something new. I didn't expect this one, so well done. I was laughing. I was like, what is this? Queen of something, but okay.
So Madame Cyber,
Madame Cyber. I'll take that. And yeah, I was listening, actually, you talking to the teams from Latin America, and I remember also one team member from the cyber team, Sandru. He was also in the US at the beginning of the program. And well, he did the smart move. He moved to the Europe in the middle of the program just to avoid being grumpy in the mornings. But to move on with the cyber panel, and we have 3 teams. And before we kind of go into introductions, I actually want to go and tell you a bit more why cyber. Because 3 teams here, and we already had 2 batches, and there are more batches coming up. And I think cyber security, even now, when everything is digital, and with the pandemic that hit us, when everyone went online, cybersecurity is becoming more from a niche that usually general public is considering. The geeks are doing it, no one is really talking about it, no one is understanding. But actually cybersecurity is all around us, and we need more solutions that help us on everyday basis. And I'm super happy to work with 3 teams now in the current batch that are actually helping to bring security to everyone. Okay, and we'll move to the intro part. So the first team, I remember, I wasn't the first person from the Startup Wise guys to meet them. I think they were suggested to us. They applied to a sustainability batch, not to a cyber batch. But they were quite early stage. And at that time, we kind of, as Startup Wise guys, we usually, when we see good founders, we like to keep an eye on them. And so we liked Christoph and the team. We actually invited them to our online pre-accelerator program later that year, and they got into the cyber track because they were not sustainability, they were actually more cyber. And I remember they were super smart, mature team, very technical, and they were struggling a lot also. And I think mentors were also struggling a lot to actually understand what they're doing. But the good part is they know what they're doing, because they also got a comment from our geek in residence that was, whoa, they're amazing in tech. And I think that's a very good sign. And so they know what they're doing. They're a good team. We also invited them to the program. And well, so long story short, they're still technical. They're still smart. They're still amazing. And also now they're proud alumni of Startup Wise guys. So with that, I would like to invite to the stage Christoph from Trusted Twin.
Hello, Gita. Thank you for that warm introduction. And I can assure you that we know what we are doing, even if sometimes we're unable to explain that very, briefly. So, just going to my part, I'm Christoph. I'm from the Trusted Twin. And in fact, I've been running software companies for over 15 years, watching digital transformation disrupt traditional industries one by one. Today, it fuels the 58% growth of the digital twin market that is going to reach over 40 billion euro in 2026. Digital twins are virtual representations of physical objects used for simulation or creation of new services. In fact, billions of them will live their virtual lives on the internet soon. We noticed that a digital cloud space for secure, reliable, and verifiable digital twin storing and sharing is missing. And our API-first platform is exactly that space. We are targeting software companies developing applications for sharing data. They get all they need to provide security, scalability, and reliability for a usage-based fee. They, in fact, save up to 50% of their resources spent on non-functional requirements. We have an MVP and first paying customers. We estimate our market at 3.9 billion euro. There is early competition, but no leader yet. We are second-time founders, raising today 250,000 euro to convert our traction to revenue and to develop the product. Thank you very much. I am Christoph. We are Trusted Twin.
Thank you. Good to have you here. For the next team, on the contrary to Trusted Twin that we met already a year ago, we actually met Adam and Andrew only 2 days before the selection bootcamp. That is our final selection event for the batch. And they came in as a recommendation from one of our alumni startups from our cybersecurity batch. And at Startup Wise Guys, we do take our, let's say, recommendations from alumni, from our mentor investor network very, very seriously. And we jumped on a call with them 2 days before the bootcamp. We loved them. The problem was that they didn't have the product yet ready. They maybe didn't have the traction. But we really liked them, and we decided, okay, what the hell? We could actually put them in front of the selection committee. Let's see what happens. What happened is that they charmed everyone on the selection bootcamp, and we had to invite them for the batch. But that was the decision that we never actually regretted, because during the batch, they worked really, really hard. They progressed a lot. Now they have some traction, they have pilots, and they're fundraising. And I think this is only the beginning. With that, Adam, Monkfish, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Agita. So thank you for those kind words as well. It's been a hell of a ride in Startup Wise Guys. So I'm Adam. I'm the CEO of Monkfish. Imagine if you could make every employee a member of your cybersecurity team and reduce your cybersecurity exposure. Monkfish is a game that allows every employee to play and test each other. We're currently working with companies in telecommunications, insurance, and with large data platforms to help them manage their people's cyber risk. We provide a platform for people to be able to send each other spear phishing emails, because that is the biggest cyber risk for these companies. 90% of cyber attacks start with some form of phishing. That is where cyber criminals manipulate and exploit people using email and other digital channels. And it's a threat that's only growing, with attacks up 110% last year alone. We provide awareness training for people to learn about spear phishing attacks through a game. Monkfish lets your employees simulate sophisticated spear phishing attacks by sending them to each other. We find we have user engagement above 80%, and players come back month to month to play the game. This helps reinforce the recognize and report behavior that is critical to stopping cyber attacks quickly. Monkfish helps you manage your cybersecurity risk. It teaches your employees critical cyber skills, and it's all delivered through a fun and easy game. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. The third team that I have my pleasure to introduce, actually we also, well, I was thinking, and I was thinking today, when was the first time I met them? Because I had so many touch points with the team before they were accepted into the batch. And I think the first time was in the cybersecurity hackathon happening in the fall of 2020. it was a cybersecurity focused hackathon, and the team was participating with a different name. I think it was Signed Tweets, and they even changed the name during the hackathon. And I was mentor, and I was a lead mentor. So what that means, I had a chance to spend the whole weekend with different checkpoints with the team, just checking in how they're doing. And I remember thinking like, oh, this is a very interesting team. They're very technical, very Estonian. They are delivering a lot. They're not talking too much though. And I was thinking, okay, we must see what more is there. And we also invited the team to the online pre-accelerator. And what I didn't know at that time when I was like working with them over the weekend was that actually I will get stuck with this team for the upcoming 12 months of my life. And I think this is also only the beginning, because now they're also part of the Startup Wise Guys family. And finally, they're here at the graduation. So Margus, EID Easy.
Yeah, hello. So my name is Margus Pala. I'm the CEO of EID Easy. And EID Easy is helping businesses adopt qualified electronic signatures that have the same legal certainty as handwritten signatures, except they are actually better because you can very easily verify who was the one signing and when it was signed. Our SaaS platform integrates with many different signature creation methods, for example, electronic ID cards and secure apps in different countries. Our customers need to have only one simple integration instead of 100 different. We can be integrated directly into different documents management systems like SharePoint, Google Docs, and Avocado, or even signature portals similar to DocuSign. And we are looking for connections to companies who are using DocuSign or doing print, sign, and scan workflows. We want to talk with them to learn more about their needs and make sure that our platform will always be the preferred way to create electronic signatures. Thank you, and back to you, Agita.
Thank you. And now I would like to invite all of the 3 teams joining me on the stage for some more questions. Yes, Adam, that will be a torture. I was listening actually to all your elevator pitches, and it's so funny to remember them at the beginning of the program and then how they evolved and what you have now. So let me ask the first question, because you also heard my introduction to you, Krzysztof, because you have a very technical product, and I know that you also faced some struggles to explain your product in a short way to everyone. I think everyone who's technical, they understood, but the general audience, they always seem to struggle. But as a company, you need to sell to them as well. And I think this is something that not only you, but a lot of cybersecurity companies, this struggle is for a lot of companies. So how did you overcome this? And maybe what was the moment during the program where you're like, okay, this is how we need to tell it?
Okay, just to be perfectly honest with you, we did not manage to do that yet. So we are still struggling with that technical language that we have in our pitch. But I can tell you what is not working. So it is usually not a good idea when you are talking only within the team, because then you are unable to get that external perspective. So we noticed during the program that the only way to, let's say, make our pitch better is to start talking to external mentors, to external advisors. We've been doing that a lot. And in fact, this is like an agile approach. So talk to somebody, use the feedback to change something, and talk again to somebody. But we thought 2 days ago, after we recorded our pitch for that demo day, that it will stay, let's say, actual for at least a month. But we had around 10 meetings with professional VCs during past 2 days. And now we know that we'll have to change at least, let's say, 30% of that pitch to make it better again. And I believe that we'll have to do that for many, many months from now to the future. So I think that in most of the cases, it is almost impossible to have something totally ready. So you have to talk to people, think, adapt. Again, talk to people, think, adapt. That's the approach I would suggest.
Yeah, that's like always work in the progress, and I think that's a good thing because, well, if something is really done, then probably you can't do any improvements on that. Talking about the improvements, the next question goes to you, Adam. Again, you also mentioned, I think, that in your pitch, in the longer pitch, that you started, well, you joined the program very early stage, and but now you actually have pilots, you have customers, and how did you actually got there? Was there like aha moment that happened during the batch and it's like, okay, now we actually can sell? Or what was the process behind this?
Look, I would have to say that there are, throughout the program, we had a lot of aha moments, and being able to go through all of them, we'll probably be here till next week. But in terms of what we could do through the program, where we've actually progressed the most is, the assistance we've gotten and the mentorship from a lot of different people. The focus on B2B sales, it really wasn't our strong suit, and that has developed a lot of different things for us to be able to actually get to where we are today. So the pilots and even the paying customers on an ongoing basis are a testament to basically the help that we got from everyone in the team. In terms of like a big aha moment for us that helped us jump a few levels in terms of where we're at as a business, I would have to say it was the sort of the market engineering work with Cristobal. He really pushed us hard to try and redefine what we are doing and find a way of being able to explain what we are doing that is relevant to the market. Essentially, through that week, we figured out what our product actually is, not what we thought it was. There are a lot of those sorts of moments. All the different mentors, all the people in Startup Wise Guys have been great help in getting us to where we are. And in some ways, we're sort of slowly becoming a real business, and that's I think one of the great benefits of Startup Wise Guys.
It's nice to hear. I think that's we're becoming a real business. That's a quote I will need to remember. Talking also about real businesses, Margus. So when you joined the program, your company also at the very early, let's say at the beginning of the program, you also raised a funding round, which is maybe a bit different than the other companies do in the batch. But also I know your team has been working for a while, but they were always working, let's say not always full time. But during the batch you came together. So what has been your, let's say, challenges during the program and biggest growth moment that helped you, let's say, move forward?
So in the Wise Guys, we actually have been going through everything that's important for the business, starting from programming to sales, to marketing, to HR, to investment, and even not how to go crazy. You don't want to go crazy. And because we have very experienced team, as you said, we have been working before, and then not many things were totally new to us. But what we did is that we reinforced the most important points. And most important is the team. We need to take care of the team, and when hiring, then choose carefully. And also focus is important. We need to know what we're doing, what we're not doing. And during the program, we have reached actually totally new maturity level. As you said, that before that we had some growth and we were working like part-time, but now everybody's working full-time. We have really big plans and we're executing that plan. And we know exactly what to do and what to accomplish to get to the next level and how to build value to our customers and to our shareholders. So it's been really a good journey.
Yeah, I think that's important to have a plan because then you know where you're going and what you need to do. I have a question back now to Trusted Twin. And what is the biggest challenge that you solved during the program?
Okay, that's a really nice question. I think that I will start from something that about the program. So you're very nice people, but at the same time, you're very serious people. So we should not mess with you delivering something. So I think that the most important challenge was to deliver the results that are acceptable by you, and that will confirm you that we are making progress. Because this is not easy, because you have seen a lot of companies, you know how these results should look like. So that's why we're trying to, you know, to be very close to the expectations from your side, just to be able at the end of the program to start raising and to have a ready to sell product that has an international potential. So that was the hardest part, to fulfill the, you know, the expectations from your side, knowing that these are the right expectations if we want to achieve what we are planning to achieve.
That's nice to hear. So the program works.
True.
I have a follow-up question to Adam. There are people in the audience who wants to know, how did you came up with your logo and your name?
So we came up with the name Monkfish. You know, there's a lot of different. You know, we started off with an idea of calling it Go Fish after the card game. But as we were sort of getting together, like getting our beta together, it turned out that someone had already launched a month ago like an open source sort of tool in this space. So we had to quickly come up with a different idea for a name. So, you know, in some places we're called Shield Fisher because that's the sort of name our working title at that time. And then we had this like, you know, brainwave of like, oh, Monkfish, that'd be a great name. And then we're thinking, well, you know, the fish actually, you know, swims in the deepest areas of the ocean and, you know, attracts all the other fish with its light and draws them in and then eats them and destroys them. So we've got, that is great imagery for like a cybersecurity company. And also like even what we're trying to do is, you know, draw people to, you know, learn about fishing. You know, it sort of has that really great analogy there. And in terms of the logo, well, you know, we played around with it a little bit. We had some really good graphic designers, you know, that helped us out sort of put it together, but it was sort of a team effort. So we really loved it. We're a gaming company as well, so you know, we've got to have something that's a bit cool and a bit fun, and not serious. So yeah, that's why we've got that logo.
Yeah, that's why I was actually thinking that you are kind of solving a very serious problem, but with a very fun solution. So I wonder how that will change the industry. But talking about the industry, question to Margus, because you're also working in an industry that I think now is changing it a lot with the signatures, and there are different types. So what do you think is the most important thing that will happen in this industry field that you're working with the signatures in the next upcoming 12 months? And how maybe that will help you as a company to grow?
12 months is very short period, and what it can do is that it maybe grows 50% or so. So add maybe 1 more billion to the market. But if you look even further, I think in 5 years, people will mostly use qualified electronic signatures, not the simple email verifications where you send the email, click on the link and call it signature, but actually you sign on behalf of the actual signer. That when you look at the signature, you can see the name there and you can track it back cryptographically to the original signer.
Awesome. Well, I think there is a lot of potential to grow. Final last question to all of you, actually. So what has been, during the program, so what has been your own, not your company, so let's move that a bit aside, but your own personal achievement or growth moment that you kind of received during the program, but for you? Who wants to start? Christoph? I'll point at you.
Let me think, but in fact, I am probably one of the oldest participants of the acceleration program. So for me, it was like to remember again how it should be when you are trying to start something from the beginning. Because, you know, if you are getting older and older, that you have that tendency to think that you know almost everything. But it was like, okay, you don't know many things. So you have to go back those, let's say, 15 years, and you have to learn again, or at least think again, so many things and so many, you know, you have to do so many things that will enable you to develop the business you are going to start. So it was like being again like 15 years ago. So that was nice because I felt a little bit younger, but it was also difficult because I had to, to deny certain things that I was thinking that are true or not. So that was, I think that was it.
Like open mind, but I must believe that kind of going, as I think you said it once, going back to school. Adam.
Look, I would have to say, like on a personal level, it was great to finally actually be in the same place as Andrew and work on this together. So I think that was like one of the best things for us, because we'd spent the last 2 years basically coming up with this idea and working it remotely, and always on different continents and different time zones. With me in Australia, with Drew in the US, and and in Europe for a period. And it was just great to be able to actually sit down together and work through all the different things that we were trying to do. And that helped us, grow quite quickly, but also figure out a lot of the problems that we were having as a business, in record time. So it got us to a quantum leap in terms of where we were at. And I think that was one of the amazing things about it, especially in this COVID period.
And you actually also met one of your other co-founders for the first time in your life in person, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. We managed to finally, meet in the same room and, talk as well. So yeah, it was one of the best things about, I think, the program was, being able to actually work together physically and not have to try and, align time zones. So yeah.
Margus, so what has been your personal, let's say, as a founder achievement during the program?
Because I have a quite deep technical background and I have built a lot of this platform myself, then previously the business was growing itself like 2 times per year and I just programmed and add some new things. But now I have learned that I need to stop programming and actually focus on running the company to see what are the best ways how to grow faster, what to do next and when to do and what not to do and make sure everything gets done. And when this thing is happening, when I made like switch actually during the program, then I have seen that things have been starting to happen. Everything is going much better and faster now.
That is amazing. No, but I think that's why we love technical founders as well. And I think during the program actually helps. Well, now I see it helps, and you are the proof of that it helps to grow the business and. But yeah, well, thank you. I want to say thank you to all 3 of you. We're out of time for the discussion, and we are out of time, I guess, also for the program. And I'm back in the studio with my fellow MD.
Yes, I'm back as well. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everything. I don't know. There's not too many words right now that I could be trying to put together into sentences other than it has been a hell of a ride. It was extremely interesting, insightful, and it was a great experience. I guess one of the things that we would like to ask from our audience is to give us feedback regarding this format. Because as you noticed, we're experimenting this time and we would love to know how did you feel about it and what could we improve. Otherwise,
we're like a startup ourselves,
yeah.
So we're also always iterating
Always.
And thinking what can be done better. But yeah, this feels a little bit surreal because I have already used to the pace like of the program, meeting the teams, talking to you, to Lise, and I don't know.
I guess we will only realize...
I don't know what to do now with my life.
Yeah. We will only realize it's over a little bit later. From our side, we would like to, once again, for the last time, remind you that there is a certain way for our fellow investors to take a closer look to our startups and maybe have some conversations with them or maybe preliminary with us if you would like to have the feedback first. There is an email down there that you could be using in order to reach out to claim that you're an investor that would like to get in touch with our teams.
And we have one more thing left for you.
Yes, the final one, the signature one, I would say. Thank you. We will show you the video, which is the experience and the summary of this batch. We internally call it Cyborg, and this is our tribute to the extremely intense but so exciting 5 months of the program. Thank you everyone for being a part of it. Thank you and my amazing team for making this happen. And yeah, the video is right here.
Thank you guys. Enjoy the video and a sneak peek how actually was our 5 months.
You can give me orders for once, you know. So take advantage of that, you know. It doesn't happen too often, you know. So yeah.
For the last 5 months of acceleration, we spent a lot of like thousands of hours working, hustling, and brainstorming together.
For example, releasing major updates in a 2 a.m. in the middle of the working week.
3 things I remember from batch 23-24, batch Cyber. The first one is the first time we actually met in person. I met most of the teams. The first impression of everybody is always just pet this short guy that is very high or very tall. The second one was always giving a lot of crap, but that's not only in this batch. But there was so much positive reinforcement from all of you. I remember telling you in the middle of the summer, one team knows who they are, about that was a presentation that was shit, that was right numbers, you can do much better. And in 24 hours having a very constructive call. Looking forward to see you guys in the graduation day, but I think that we have a lot of things to achieve together, so you won't get rid of us.
I will never forget the sprint week that we have with Coortex. It was crazy, I did not expect that, and it was a nice week to have in my mind.
It's been very thrilling to see how the entrepreneurs have the same or similar challenges all around the globe, and to meet people from everywhere.
All co-founders have the same problems. You just have to mention it.
The biggest learning from the program was definitely the market engineering sprint. We learned how important is the market research and product differentiation.
It was like being in the school again, but it helped us a lot to structure the message and build the product.
Wiseguys has one of the safest offices in the town, with mandatory corona tests during every entry.
We just need to learn, keep learning, keep on learning.
We loved how well thought was the pace of the program. We had crazy mentorship heavy weeks. We had usual weeks with workshops and one-on-ones. And we had implementation weeks, which allowed us to apply all the practical advice straight away.
I wouldn't change anything. I value a lot every single moment that I had the opportunity to share with such an amazing crew.
No matter if we're late for the sessions or, I don't know, something happens with an online, I have my founders to support whatever ideas that I have to bring for our batch, and I have my founders to support whatever ideas they bring to the table.
I'm thinking much more global after the acceleration program. So this is maybe one of the biggest and one of the importantest outcomes from the program.
The clear understanding of the path we have to go through to the much bigger success than we already achieved during the acceleration program.
Even though I'm a solo founder, I never felt solo.
The energy that the SPG team is investing inside of us, and the energy that all other teams are investing inside of their idea, that is a complete new motivation for me.
Going through a program like the Startup Wiseguys, it's really hard. It's really difficult. You have a lot of pressure, and all these fun sessions really made it a lot easier. That's why a Startup Wiseguys always rocks.
A few weeks back when we had Startup Day and the after party, so yeah, Tag is a really good dancer, I didn't know that.
Although I like Tallinn office, I would really like to meet the Latin American teams in Latin America. Oh yeah, we should go there.
Within 6 months, what we probably wouldn't have achieved within 3 or 4 years. We have learned so much about the sales process, about talking to customers and solving their problems and focusing on their problems.
Sometimes you just have to wait a minute, put everything in order, and then move on.
It's a small, tiny family that has formed during those 5 months.
I have never met a better team, more engaged and more helpful. That's all about the Startup Wise Guys Acceleration Program.